A very good day to you, sir. Our team name is Team Galileo, and welcome to our project proposal presentation video. Our project title is The Personal Transporter with Cranked-Based Leg Mechanisms, and our team members consist of PRAVIN, anak lelaki SURENDRAN, Benjamin Chua Liang Xiang, Caleb Teo Yi Xian, Lao Zhi Shun, and Tong Man Kit. The aim of the project is to design and develop a personal transporter using a cranked-based leg mechanism. And how would the project benefit us? It reduces carbon footprints, which would reduce air pollution in the area. It also allows us to overcome obstacles, such as debris on the floor or stairs, as the current personal transporter, Segway, is not able to handle it efficiently. It is easier to master compared to Segway because it uses a controller instead of a movement sensor, which most people have trouble with. Looking at the safety and health laws, policies, or plans, one of the laws that binds us is the Occupational Safety and Health Act 1994 to protect the safety, health, and welfare of employees at work. Although the act does not apply to us students, but we must have the mindset of taking necessary precautions to prevent potential injuries. The second binding law is the Environmental Quality Act 1974. Even if it is merely an assignment, we must not forget that it is our duty to protect the quality of our environment. We selected wood as a material as it is the most environmental friendly material. We also selected aluminium as it is considered the most environmental friendly metal.
Now we're looking at the idea generation and selections. The first idea is derived from a piston movement in an internal combustion engine. The motor would rotate in a counterclockwise directions to create a forward movement, and the roller in between the two rods would create a minimal frictions, which is used to hold the two rods in place. The material we recommended for the roller would be aluminium, and the legs would be the woods. Now we're looking at the advantages and disadvantages of Idea 1. The advantages is the concept of Idea 1 is easy to understand and the fabrication process is simple. It requires less material, lightweight, and low cost. The disadvantages of Idea 1 is the lower drag motion as the current leg motion is circular or in an oval shape. It also causes a high stress on the cylinder supporting the two legs. Next, we're looking at Idea 2. Idea 2 is derived from the Theo Jensen working mechanism. The design is made up of wood, but the free joints are going to be all bearings. The shoulder bolts are used because this would create minimal frictions between the rods. Lubricant is also added, and this would improve the efficiency of the working mechanisms. The material we recommended for the shaft would be aluminium, and the legs would be the wood. Now we're looking at the advantages and disadvantages of Idea 2. The advantages of Idea 2 is that the stress is distributed evenly among thrust. Motor use does not need to have high torque. It may overcome obstacles easily. The drag distance is larger compared to Idea 1, and the overall structure is more stable compared to Idea 1. The disadvantages is that the linkages are hard to be manufactured. The calculation may need to be very precise. The weight also is heavier compared to Idea 1. The pivot point of this structure is weak when it's under heavy load, and the cost of fabrication would be high.
Now we will take a look at idea number 3. This idea is derived from the Chebyshev lambda mechanism. Basically, the middle bar with the 4 holes is connected to the driving shaft. This driving shaft will then control the movement of the entire structure. Basically, the structure is mimicking the ski for its movement of the legs. This would allow for more surface coverage and improve stability. Compared to Idea 1, the movement of it will be more stable. The material that will be used for this design is aluminium for the shaft and pins and wood for its legs. The advantages of this design is that stress is distributed evenly among trusses. It is more stable compared to Idea 1. The drag distance is larger compared to Idea 1, and lesser calculations are needed. The disadvantages, however, are linkages are hard to manufacture. The material required is more. It is heavier compared to Idea 1, and it costs higher to manufacture. Now we will take a look at idea number 4. This idea is derived from idea 1 and idea 2. Basically, it is the improved version of idea 2. In idea 2, one of the disadvantages is that the pivot point will be suffering high stress due to the movement of its legs and the structure. Therefore, we combine idea 1 and 2 to form idea 4. This would solve the issue that idea 2 was having. Basically, we added an extra support leg which would help distribute the stress more evenly. The advantage of this structure is that the stress is distributed evenly among the trusses. It may overcome obstacles easily. The drag distance is larger compared to idea 1. It is more stable. However, the linkages are hard to manufacture. Calculations made need to be more precise. More material is required. It is also heavier compared to idea 1 and costs higher to manufacture. So far, this idea is the most stable as well as the most evenly distributed stress among the other ideas proposed. The leg in the middle would prevent high amounts of stress to act on the pivot point, and the Theo-Jensen mechanism would help smoothen the walking process and in turn improve the efficiency of the ride.
Alright, now let's proceed to idea 5. So basically, idea 5 is an improvement from idea 1. So the concept is the same, but the difference is that we have a connection to at the bottom of the legs and also at the rotating part at the top. So by doing this, we can increase the surface area of contact to the ground, and also we can get the required traction needed to move the transporter. For the rotating part on top, the connecting rod acts as a synchronizing rod so that it turns at the same speed at the same place. By doing so, the stress experienced by the rotating part is shared, so basically divided by 2. So you put lesser stress on it. So what is good about this design is it greatly reduces stress at the bottom leg, and then it's a very simple design, very simple to understand. It's also very easy to fabricate, and we have the traction that we need. For the disadvantages, obviously if you have more material, which means higher costs, also more material means it's heavier, so as compared to the first idea. So in conclusion, if we were to choose, currently we will choose idea 4 and idea 5 because we need to consider the advantages and disadvantages of each idea 4 and idea 5. And that concludes idea 5.
Idea 4 and Idea 5 are the most stable design iterations so far. Our group proposed to construct a scaled-down 3D printed prototype for each of the ideas to ease our simulation and calculations. Any necessary adjustment will be made to the final design based on the prototype before the fabrication stage of the actual product is to be commenced.
I'll talk about the impact to multicultural society. Now, before we talk about the impact, let us talk about what multicultural society really means. Multicultural incorporates the difference in beliefs, people, or ideas from across the globe. Society is filled with individuals from numerous cultural backgrounds, which affects their preferences and views towards different modes of transportation. Now, according to a recent study conducted by the UK, it is found that income is one of the main influences when it comes to selecting a mode of transportation. Basically, the high earners, according to the survey, it is the New Zealand Europeans, they would opt for luxury cars, whereas those who cannot afford them will be forced to travel by foot or by public transport. Our target market is aimed such that all individuals, regardless of income, may be able to afford this personal transporter. This idea brings together the society. Why? Because they share one thing in common, that is the mode of transportation. This transportation would bond them together. For example, it could be said that the students from the schools have different modes of transportation, such as public transport, walking, and also by private cars. However, if this mode of transportation is made available to all the students, most of the students in school, if not all, would opt for this mode of transportation, and that would bond the students together. This invention may also serve as an eco-friendly replacement to many combustion engine vehicles for short distances travels, as it runs on electric power. This can greatly significantly help cities with densely high air pollution. That is all. Thank you.